I'm going to show you a video in a moment, just to show what I have to put up with as a result of patrolling the streets at night all the time, cleaning the place up. Not just what I used to do down the entrance since I was a teenager, but also the internet streets more than anything. The global superhighways are full of filth, and most of it's run by the government, and the rest of it they turn a blind eye to for all kinds of self-serving reasons. But no one will clean it up. Or actually, most people can't, and those who can, who are obligated to clean up the streets, don't. They're the ones dirty in the streets, and I'm talking about the internet here, not just your local suburban area. This video I'm about to show you, I do not endorse anything in this video. This is just an example of what I cop. I cop a lot of crap from every corner. We got the government, it's countless assassination attempts, surviving out in radioactive bushlands, chased by helicopters, planes, and drone. Then we go, look, me against all the world's fucking hackers and shit. And actually, the hackers of actual competence ended up agreeing with me, and I'll make a deal with them. And that involves leave the innocent and vulnerable alone. You want to attack the powerful and corrupt? I'm not going to interfere. Just leave the innocent and vulnerable alone. And when you're part of a group that's attacking the innocent and vulnerable, I'm going to come after you. There's a way out of this. You go to war against your own group. You take them out before I get, because if I have to get to you before and you haven't sufficiently responded, then you're in on it. You fall with them. So, quite frankly, it might actually help save a bunch of hackers into a constructive life, mind you. But it's all a long story in itself. But then there's the low-level trash, and this is everywhere. Anyone who sees this video, you see this every day. The weak little shits who are, the classical chat moderator, or any kind of moderator, forum moderator, chat moderator, game moderator, any kind of moderator, right? As if they were needed to begin with. If you need a moderator, it's game over already. However, there's the bottom end filth of society. No one wants to be near these people. They feel sick in the presence of these people. They know this. They have no moral bone in their body. They're just opportunistic filth, and they typically do every kind of petty crime imaginable. And they're always trying to do do more, but they can't work with anyone and they can't learn either because they're so incompetent. But the kind of filth you see in Facebook groups, internet forums, chat rooms, especially chat rooms of IRC, Discord, Gilded, the old, I guess the old MSN Messenger wasn't as bad, but where there's a group on the internet, they hide in these little echo chambers, these little corners, where they do all kinds of disgusting criminal shit. And mind you, acting in bad faith and having a malignant agenda in itself is actually illegal everywhere in the world. But there's not who's enforcing the internet law. The laws that do exist are central to their creation, like 25 years ago or something, around about 25 years ago. And no one's enforcing. There's no rule of law, and there never was to begin with. But at least it's good to actually have a law written down if it's not misconstrued. At least there's a bullseye on the dartboard that they're aiming for. Someone can aim for at least. But there's no rule of law. As the founder of Anonymous, I have been the internet police for a long time. In the name of protecting innocent and vulnerable. It's not about punishment and justice and all that kind of stuff. It's simply about protecting the innocent and vulnerable, whatever I need to do to that. And obviously a lot of people agree with me and they started joining in. But very few people can do it right. And many, well, how can I say this? Let's say they fall short and what's the saying? Do not become the monster. When hunting monster, be careful not to become that monster. As many do, but I think those people, their intentions are wrong to begin with. But nonetheless, the video I'm going to show you is of not government, not hackers. I've got a whole army of the government against me. I've got a whole bunch of fucking hackers against me. But guess what? Since I won that court case last year, the last one, and my health's still in a bad way, but it's starting to get a bit better now for my ulcers. But since like the second half of last year, this dark shadow that has followed me around everywhere for a very, very long, my whole life. A lot of bad people trying to take me out and exploit me and all kinds of shit. I mean, my actual friends who spend time with me, they'll tell anyone. You get used to the lurkers who come and go, come hit and run. There's a lot of people waiting for an opportunity to take me out. You're just bad, degenerate filth, really, right? For obvious reasons, you know? They all got a grudge against me. These are... They all seem to have just vanished, especially as my ulcers... Recently, I don't know if they're going to keep getting better, but somehow I've managed to get a kind of a remission, somewhat of a remission. I'll see how far it goes. But isn't it funny? You're down on the gutter bleeding out, and they swarm you to rubbing their hands together with a bloody knife in their hand. And as soon as you get up, what does it say? You kick someone in the balls, you better be damn well sure that they don't get up, because if they get up, you're going to regret ever being born. There's a lot of people, a lot of very bad people. Some people got the wrong information and attacked me, not realizing the truth. Still guilty, but not the same degree of guilt. But there's a category of degenerate filth who they just want to fuck the world. They just want to see the world burn, and they're hiding dark corners, and they're always scared of someone like me is going to come on them and find out what they're doing. Typically, chat rooms or forums is the main kind of way. Whichever way. I mean, Facebook groups kind of count with this as well. But what I'm about to show you is an example of what I've had to fucking put up with this shit. This is like, I've had to deal with a lot of very bad people in all different categories. This is the low level stuff, right? But because it's the low level stuff, it is also funny. To a degree. It kind of crosses back and forth between being cringe and funny. But it's something that me and my teammates, members of my Manhattans, were sitting there having a laugh watching this going past. I mean, some of them haven't seen I think one of them hadn't seen some of the things in the recording. He missed out on it, so we were showing him, updating him some things, and yeah, it's like, oh my god, I can't believe what I'm hearing, right? It's a kind of video that you might choke on. You might choke on the video. Choke laughing, but also it goes beyond laughter to cringe stuff. But this kind of behavior, I think everyone these days knows it goes on, and most people to some degree engage in it. I just want to say a point about this before the video. You don't have the right to hide in a little echo chamber, in person or on the internet, it's mostly on the internet these days, where you surround yourself with people who agree with you and endorse everything you do, and no one's allowed to criticize you. You're allowed to criticize other people from a safe pedestal where no one can touch you, but no one's allowed to criticize you. You're allowed to criticize anyone else, one-sided criticism. No one has the right to be protected from scrutiny, and legitimate criticism and scrutiny. Malignant, bad faith attacks, yeah, everyone has a right to be protected from that. But it's something that will never actually be a realistic thing. But to the most degree, yeah. But you don't have the right to be protected from legitimate criticism. You are required, obligated to interact with critics, to be tested. Things that aren't tested, it's like having a computer without an antivirus. You're going to get infected, corrupted. You're going to go. If you have no feedback to check your ideas, to make sure that they're right, then they are guaranteed to inevitably go wrong. And usually those who do such a thing very quickly go wrong. Usually wrong from stage one, from step one. If you're wrong about something, what bad is there in being proven wrong? That's a good thing. If you're right, you want to be sure that you're right, and you want to, and if you're tested in the likes of debate and facing scrutiny, you learn the tools, the words, the answers to questions. You know how to battle in a world of ideas, and you can learn how to win people over to the truth, should you have the truth, and challenge. You confirm the truth, and it's not something that you test and confirm and then never test again. It's just a perpetual probe. The truth doesn't want to be protected from the fire. The truth wants to be set free in the fire of debate. But this world is full of weak, pathetic criminals who hide in dark corners, playing God, playing politician, playing police officers, chat moderators and stuff, doing every disgusting thing imaginable. And what they're doing is crime on many levels. And almost every time, these people have been doing this long term. They have no achievements in life, no knowledge, no skills. They just sit there like the classical moderator meme, right? These people tend to be doing a lot of other disgusting crimes. It's so predictable. There's a lot of red flags. I teach people how to identify and look for certain things to catch them in. There's so many of these fuckers have been taken down because of or related to me that people start learning become aware about me. It's hard for me to find any environment that doesn't know about me these days. So anyway, it usually doesn't take long these days to because I'm identified and everything, that people start realizing and they start panicking. You start panicking around me. It's like in this kind of situation, then it's a big red flag that you're up to no good. Yeah, you spend time trying to cover it up. You act like you're just telegraphing everything, because most people telegraph things all the time without realizing. But the video I'm about to show is just example of the kind of degenerate shit in these dark corners of the internet, and they're everywhere. I think most activity on the internet, most human interactions on the internet involve dark corners doing this kind of filth. I'll just finish with one. This is an example of what I have to deal with in this category. But even these kind of people, like government, hackers, just everyday civilians in dark corners doing criminal shit, all those three categories have and whatever other category, so for some reason since late last year there's like a war that's been won, and they've all backed off and run for the hills. And I've had some breathing room, and there's a lot going on there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on regarding the local government. There's a lot going on with hackers and all this shit with internet villainy, with especially regarding the US political stuff going on now. It's all connected. And anyway, that shadow that is followed me, waiting for like a bunch of hyenas in the dark every night, has almost completely backed off and fucked off. It's gonna take some getting used to if it stays this way, and if I can get my health back. And now I will celebrate with my teammates and friends, and we actually do some cool stuff. It's been a long time, but you don't have like people who do these hide in dark corners doing this disgusting moderator abuse and disgusting conspiracies on the internet, playing God, playing police officer, playing politician, abusing power, like craving power, seeking power anywhere you can get it to abuse that power. They do this because they know what would happen. I have a golden rule. The golden rule of the internet. I'm the founder of Anonymous. I wrote the rule book on the internet, right? The golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. There's a different ways I can say it. Don't do unto others what you wouldn't do to a random stranger in a pub on a Friday night. What you do on the internet is no different than face to face. You're not anonymous as in the adjective, not the noun. I am the anonymous noun, but I'm not anonymous by adjective, and neither are you. You're only selectively anonymous to a specific audience for a time. And with someone like me around, you do bad shit, I can find you in 2 seconds. And I've proven this many times. None of it involves hacking. I've never need to hack anything in my life. It's far easy, better ways. Why would you need to hack break a door down with an axe when you got the key, or you can walk through walls, or someone lets you in? But so no one has a right to be protected from scrutiny, and all this All this disgusting shit with chat moderators that happens behind the scenes in every corner these days. That is the rot of the world. Oh, sorry, there's a train going by. The internet is a two-edged sword. It is the salvation of the world, and it is also the poison of the world. If you get rid of the internet, that poison will kill the world. The internet's required to save the world, but the mortal wound was done through the internet, and it's permeated throughout society, every society in the world at every level. This immoral filth. People know that you look back 20 years ago, how different things are now, how much moral standards have lowered, and it's not just politically, but like on a grassroots social level. How you behave on the internet, you wouldn't have dreamed of doing that 20 years ago. It's disgusting. But what I wanted to say at that point, I was going to say, it's taking me a while, sorry. But people think that they can run an internet community of some kind, and they're in their own little corner, their own little bubble where they make the rules. You have a chat channel or server or something. That's not your channel. It's not your service. It's on a host at someone else's company, and they have their rules too. Then those rules are not valid either. But you don't get to make your own rules up. You're not a rule maker. You follow the law. The law is the rules. You don't get to make your little nation in a secret nation in a little tiny corner doing all kinds of disgusting stuff and saying it's all good because it's the rules. You don't make the rules. You follow the law. And the same goes with all the corporations like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Discord, all these places. There's no such thing as a terms of service or a EULA. As I say, EULAs aren't worth the paper they're written on. Since they're not written on paper, they're only on the computer, a tiny text file on the computer. They don't weigh or worth anything. Communism, not community standards, communism standards. If it's community standards, isn't those standards defined by the community, or is these are rules that you're making up again outside and against the law? That makes you a threat to international and national security, to the country you're in and the world at large. You're basically declaring war, and you're trying to usurp the laws of the land. You'll set up your own micronation with different rules. You're not obeying those rules. You're trying to become the new government. It's kind of like loosely in the category of terrorism and stuff like that, and it should be treated like that. You don't get to make your own rules in your own little fucking corner. You go make an account and log into some chat room somewhere, or forum, or Facebook group, or whatever, or comments in YouTube channel and stuff like this, and they have these community standards or terms of service or users and stuff like that. That's illegal. It's a usurper who's a threatening to overtake the government in the laws of the land. Well, as if the government hasn't already been taken over by not one group, but every group imaginable. It's like a rotten apple that's infected with every disease known to man. No one's enforcing the law except for me. I can prove it so easily. Maybe a small few here and there that most of them I interact with sometimes, either here and there, or run across by chance. Superheroes in the night patrol on the streets, sometimes meet each other, sometimes deliberately, but you don't get to make rules in a little corner playing God. The only rules that exist are the laws of the land. And any attempt to install any kind of rule beyond that is illegal. You can't just mute someone in a chat room and bully them and laugh about it. I do what I want. Then you meet me, and I drag you out by the fucking ear. And you don't want to hear what happens next. Not yet. We'll see in time. Disgusting, cowardly filth on the internet it behaves this way. None of them will say any of this, like in this video I'm about to show. None of them will ever say this kind of shit to anyone's face. There's a long story to all this stuff, and this is just a little intro. A funny one, mind you, mostly funny. Just to show anyone who's watching this what I have to put up with in just one tiny, it's one of the smaller categories, the more easy to deal with categories that I've had to deal with for so long. Alright, I could go on and on and on. I hope I got the point. You don't get to make your own little corner where you're God in your own little corner with your own rules. You don't make the rules. Any rules that you make are supposed to represent the law. That's it. So things like freedom of speech, or what about the big social networks, the under Section 230 and all that kind of shit that's grossly misconstrued back and forth between two different sides. Somehow they're supposed to allow free speech on, they don't, no one's enforcing law, and there's the back and forth gibberish going on. And then, or what about the size? Well, you get a massive social network or a smaller one. What about a chat room with 5 people? Where's the line where there is no line? If you have a small group of friends who are in a closed community, just to say 5, in a chat room, bad things happen, they argue, and one of them has mob powers and starts muting and abusing the other. If there's an abuse of power, is this bad faith, malignant behavior going on by one party? It's criminal. If it's not malignant and they had to do that for some reason legitimately, all good. Rarely is it the case, but sometimes it is. It's not difficult to determine intent and immoral behavior. That's the whole purpose of law, is to represent morality. Malignant behavior is against, like I think in Australia call it the Telecommunications Act. Every country and international law has all these different versions of the same basic thing. That whether through on the, you're not allowed to call someone up and start bullying them and fucking with them and shit. That's a crime. It's a crime just no different than if you did it in person. But it's actually worse when you do it over the phone or over the internet, because there's a level of anonymity to that person. And you can get away with a lot more, and you can do a lot more harm to them, especially when it comes to like hackers and stuff like that, right? They're basically, hackers are terrorists. They're worse than the ones in recent times, because they threaten a lot more harm than just ending your life. They go after your legacy, your passwords, your accounts, your whole history. They'll vandalize everything, turn everyone against you, blah 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 blah. That's way worse than just someone who's just gonna end your life. Your legacy is more important than your life. Your heritage is more important than your life. And get the message. You go around hiding in little echo chambers, abusing power, and hurting the innocent and vulnerable. Making up imaginary rules will not protect you from me. I will find you. I patrol the streets constantly. The streets of the internet have a history of patrolling other streets as well. But I patrolled the internet streets for a very long time. I'm just one man. I can only do so much with one man, but I can reach anyone, anywhere, anytime. And that's what they used to call me, the final boss. You go around leveling up, doing evil shit on the internet, eventually you're going to meet the final boss. You're going to come unexpected, he's going to take you out. He's going to humiliate you and expose you in front of all your peers and take you down. Don't abuse power. Don't treat the internet any differently than you would in a shopping centre or a pub on a Friday night. Act fucking civilized, as I say, it's one of my memes. Act fucking civilized. So this recording will give you an idea of what I have to put up with. Don't be so cringingly weak that you do this disturbing shit on the internet. If you do, you must be punished very severely and made an example of, because it threatens the whole world. And I don't need you to understand that. If you're like a perpetrator, I don't need you to understand. I just need to make a public example of you to be as a deterrent for others. But I don't do so out of justice and vengeance and all that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to protect the innocent and vulnerable. shouldn't be much to ask people to act civilized and be honest and not act in bad faith with malignant agendas. There is a lot of good in this world, but there's far more evil. That evil is trying to separate the good to prevent it from fighting each other. And convince, swap, reverse sides and muddy the waters and poison the world too, especially the world poisoning, But the people, not everyone you'll see in this recording, there's a couple of people who are actually good people who defend me and stuff like that, on my side of things, telling them to shut up and stuff like that. But the vast majority of people in this recording should be self-explanatory. One more point here. Look at the kind of behavior that you or any other person has been doing, your impact on the world. If the world was full of yous, 8 billion of you, people just like you, what would happen? Would it be a better place or a worse place? If it's a worse place, good news. It doesn't have to be that way, you can change it. Words can express all the kind of stuff I deal with. The one reason why I wanted to upload this video, I had to be careful where I upload it to, because it's not, I can't put it on YouTube or Facebook or anything like that. I have to put some Rumble or something like that. I have to deal with a lot of very bad people, and for many years I do that, and then I go and try to have a break and be around like normies, so to speak. Go to a shopping centre, a pub or a club or something, and just to be around a completely different environment with people who aren't trying to exploit and kill the innocent and vulnerable at every moment. It's like going from a war zone to just a normal, local social gathering. It's a contrast of back and forth, like kind of like living two worlds, and not two-faced or two personalities or anything like Batman or something. Not like that at all. I'm always the same person. But I've had to live a life of extremes between two different worlds, back and forth between the two different worlds, and I go deal with so many very bad people, and then I go in a completely different environment. I just want to say, if anyone does see this, I can respond in certain ways when I'm used to a certain kind of environment, and I go to the other environment. Sometimes I might say something that be misconstrued, especially when it comes to humor. I do a lot of humor, and I do worry sometimes that someone might misconstrue my words. It's like I need to change gear, Someone might misconstrue my words. You have to talk different ways to different people sometimes, right? I'm not explaining it very well, but anyway, I'll go show the video of an example of what I have to deal with. At least this is the funny kind of stuff, not the really bad stuff. There's really bad stuff, I could show piles and piles of it, but this is more of the funny side, the kind of stuff, what I have to deal with.